I'm a lawyer because I had to stop working for the company I worked for. I didn't get fired. I could have commuted 2 hours a day to the Twin Cities, but they said no more remote access. I worked for a financial company. They were about to get a FINRA and an SEC audit. And this is an early days of having customer information on a laptop, away from the building. Like it was at my house, and they were uncomfortable with that. So they said, well, we're canceling, for brokerage, we're canceling remote employees. Now they have a full remote employee program. You're welcome, assholes. I built that program. Anyway, they have a remote program now, but back then they were really concerned about customer data. So they said, you could come work here again in downtown Minneapolis. I'm like, I live 2 hours away. I'm not driving in. No, peace. I see people all the time. They're like, oh, your kids are going to find out about this. Maybe at some point they'll find out some of the details. Sure. They know some of the details. They lived it. Like they were there. They were the ones, they were in court with us sometimes. They know all of this stuff. Guess what? Nobody fucking cares. Nobody cares. You know why? Because people struggling with a drug issue for a while is kind of common in this country. It happens to a lot of people. It happens to a lot of parents. It doesn't really mean much other than someone struggled with a drug issue. How they go forward is up to them, and that's a different thing. I've been, sober since April 15th was my last drink, and just over 6 months now, and everything's been going fine. I go to whatever church I want to, whatever school I want to go to or whatever, and people just say hi and they're kind. No one's like this. No one's like y'all. No one thinks like this. And no one treats my kids poorly. In fact, it's funny because their classmates sometimes joke, like when drugs or whatever are mentioned in their school lessons, their classmates will look at them like, you know about that, right? Like they're ribbing each other because they're kids. And that's what they do. But you have to understand they're growing up in a different time than all of us did. Everything is different. Communication is different. The knowledge of other people's lives is different because we have so much more access and so much more connectivity. That's normal for them. That's native. For us, it's foreign. We're still trying to get used to it. And so we think, oh my God, people are going to see this. There will come a time in the very near future where every presidential candidate will have nudes out there. Every single one, because it'll become so ubiquitous with the rise of OnlyFans and the exchange of, and the tampering down of American prudity and the exchange of sexual images or nude images earlier on. Like that is all becoming normalized for better or worse. Like I'm not making a moral judgment on it, but needless to say, our children are growing up in the environment where that's normal, that these things aren't crazy to them. They're crazy to us because we grew up in a different time. And that, again, this is something though that Gino and Keanu cannot do. They lack the mental capacity to put themselves into any other place. They don't have empathy. These people get invested in like a side, and then they're surprised when things don't go the way that they want them to go based on the side, which is just, especially from someone like Sean, it's silly. Like you're a lawyer, like it doesn't work. It does. First of all, there's always a human element, and it. But two, you got to know, like it does. Your feelings don't matter. But he was in his feelings the whole time, and I still don't really know why. He says it's because he's a strong Christian, and Nick really offended him. It's like, okay, then why do you talk about doing cocaine all the time, or not doing it? But he alludes to it all the time, and all this stuff. He does this thing that a lot of lawyers and people do when they're around police, especially, like they get tactical and they talk about. You've met those tactic bros, right? And he's like, they talk about how quick they draw their gun and all this stuff. And it's like, you're just a guy. No one cares. Right. Who are you? I know a bunch of people think I like misrepresented things to them or whatever. And I'll tell you, like, largely I didn't. I did change. I changed pretty dramatically in a really fast time. But that change, that ball had been kicked off a while before, but once the change happened, it happened really quickly. And so then I think it happened quickly enough where people thought I was lying rather than changing. And that's, there's not much I can do about it. I didn't mean to, like, I wasn't thinking about it that way at all. I was just living, and we go through stuff and we change. And I got to a place where I started doing a bunch of stuff that I never would have done a couple years prior. But hey, like I did it. I wasn't great at hiding most of it. I wasn't really trying to hide it. There's some things, like there's a difference between hiding something and not wanting a clip of something. Right. Like, you know, I've been to hedonism a couple times. I didn't want that clip out there. I didn't care that people know that I went to hedonism. I didn't care that people, like, I told stories from it, and they're obviously from there. It's identifiable from what I was saying. That being said, I didn't want to clips of like saying I did this thing are much more digestible. Now it's all out there, so whatever. It's liberating. I don't really care. I'd go back there tomorrow if I could. You know, except like that'd be bad. But assuming I wasn't on probation, I'd go back there tomorrow. It's kind of hard to go to a place like that without liquor. Like that's no matter what else. Like it's really tough to be at an all nude resort without liquor. You need a little bit of help with the jitters there. But that said, like I didn't care that people knew. I just didn't want to clip, because clips are things you can send to family members and stuff like that. But now they all know because it's in the news. Yeah. So what the fuck does it matter?
Just Jill for $4.99 says Keanu co-signs her husband saying he'll JO to Nick's kids. Yeah. I'm sure you've heard that.
But he did the same. He stole that joke from Melton. That's one of the jokes that everybody's mad about that with Melton. Melton said that when Aaron's daughter is 18, maybe she'll look him up, which is actually a pretty mild joke when you really get down to it. But I mean, you can see the grossness. He shouldn't have said it. And I think it's one of the few things that he regrets saying is those two sort of lines. But that one isn't a pedophilic joke. It literally isn't. It's the age of consent has occurred or whatever. But it's the weirdest thing in the world. Again, like, I can't wait to jerk off to his daughter's OnlyFans. It's like, well, I mean, if she has an OnlyFans, which I hope she won't, but if she does, like that, yeah, I guess that would be the point.
Right. It's still gross.
It's gross to say, but it's not a well thought through insult. It's like, I'll do the thing that has a purpose to do. Like, well, I mean, it's like, I'm going to open a grocery store. It's like, I can't wait. I'm going to shop at that grocery store. Okay. How does this hurt? What is going on here? But like, obviously I don't want that for my daughters, but you know, like, you never know what fucking culture is going to be like.
Another thing that Gino said, though, was that he was going to do the same thing, or did do the same thing to Kayla's photo. There's been a couple of times where he said that, like, basically he still had it, that's what he was going to, you know, I'm going to log off here and go do that. I don't know. That was equally, if not worse.
You know why? Kayla's hot. I'm sorry. She looks good naked. Well, I mean, again, these are just not well thought out insults. It's like, oh, wow. I jerked off to his wife. Like, okay. I mean, I guess. Like, I have two. Are we friends now? Like, what happens here?
No, don't be friends with Gino. No crossover at all.